a nightclub or something.
Nightclub?
Yes, it was quite good. I like all these programmes.
I can't remember who hosted it.
Band dance type of thing.
I like Scottish dance music, so it was quite good as far as I was concerned.
Perfume.
Right, lovely. By the way, our driver tonight is Willie.
Before our time, I think.
How many grandchildren have you got, Carly? I've got two boys.
Before I was the twinkle in your eye.
I was thinking about you at the time, dear.
So you take the high road and I'll take the low road and I'll be in Scotland. For me and my true love will never meet again on the bonny, bonny banks of Loch Road.
It was sensational, it really was. We were all happy. There's nothing succeeds like success. We knew we were on a winner, but we were conscious of the fact that we had to keep working very hard to make it successful every week.
Hello, good evening, how are you? And welcome to the White Heather Club, which comes to you direct from Scotland. Hello, come on, my bonny lassies. Now the fiddler's fiddle and the song begins, so step it, come and sing.
Oh, lovely to see you. Nice to see you, boy. You're looking great. You never change at all. Not at all. Oh, my God, to see you.
You still thinking we take it?
We were a happy lot, and it came across on television, it came across on stage when we were working in theatres.
Stand by.
as my agent said, it made you as well known as cornflakes. I don't know why I had to put the corn into it, but it did. You became household words, household names, and we just worshipped the programme in many ways and took it very seriously. And yet at the same time, there always was a very much a party atmosphere.
Now we come to our little intimate review type spot where Joe and Alistair and myself sort of indulge in being witty in certain topicalities and nonsense in general. We'd like to call this, for want of a better name, At the Drop of a Clanger. Come-a-dee, come-a-da, come-a-do, come-a-dee, come-a-da, come-a-do, it's come-a-dee, come-a-da, come-a-da-kee-o, and that's the healing chorus. That's better, isn't it? From central Glasgow nowadays, the motor car has vanished, and with it many people think a lot of trade has vanished. At one time when you left your car, you feared someone might mark it, but now you'd never heed a dunt, if only you could park it. Come-a-dee, come-a-da, come-a-do, come-a-dee, come-a-da, come-a-do, it's come-a-dee, come-a-da, come-a-da-kee-o, and that's the healing chorus.
Sometimes we only finish writing the things literally 10 minutes before transmission. So sometimes it could be quite hysterical, but the spontaneity of it was marvellous.
I've tried to think of verses that will fit into the sang. I'm afraid I didn't do too well, for I didn't hear lying. Mary had a little lamb, she kept it in the lobby, and every time a burglar came, it whistled on the bobby. Come-a-dee, come-a-da, come-a-do, come-a-dee, come-a-da, come-a-do, come-a-dee, come-a-da, come-a-da-kee-o, and that's the healing chorus. Me again. Right, so homely one this time. Yes, very good.
Each morning when I'm working, I get up at 7, make the breakfast, bath the baby, housework till 11. This week I am on holiday. My wife said you shall live right. I'm up at 6 and bath the bairn and toil the lad till midnight. Come-a-dee, come-a-da, come-a-do, come-a-dee, come-a-da, come-a-do, it's come-a-dee, come-a-da, come-a-da-kee-o, and that's the go. Come-a-dee, come-a-da, come-a-do, come-a-dee, come-a-da, come-a-do, come-a-dee, come-a-da, come-a-da-kee-o. Lovely. And that's the healing chorus.
The part of the programme was so great that at one time, I think, I've been trying to check up on the year, and I think it was 1961. I had 3 records in the Scottish Top 20 at the one time. I think they were the Bonnie Lass of Ivy, the one that we've had a laugh at tonight, The Work of the Weavers, and the other one was a pop one, Dream Lover, which was a cover of the Bobby Darin version.
You know, Joe, I've just been thinking, you must be one of the busiest young men in show business in Scotland today, what with records and radio and television, and now you've got...
The textile industry.
What? The textile industry. You better tell the viewers what he's talking about, will you?
The Work of the Weavers. 1, 2. We're all met together here to sit and to crack, with our glasses in our hands and our work up on our back. There's no trade among them all, neither mend or mag, if it wasn't for the work of the weavers. If it wasn't for the weavers, what would we do? We wouldn't have clothes made of our wood. We wouldn't have hair coats, neither black nor blue, if it wasn't for the work of the weavers.
The hiremen shields they mock us and crack our boots. They say that we are thin-faced, bleached like toilets, but yet for the mockery they canna do with it. No, the winner wants the work of the weavers.
If it wasn't for the weavers, what would we do? We wouldn't have clothes made of our wood. We wouldn't have hair coats, neither black nor blue, if it wasn't for the work of the weavers.
To put it in context, at that time, television was not new to the country, but certainly new to the general public in Scotland, and the people took a great interest in a weekly show.
If it wasn't for the weavers, what would we do? We wouldn't have clothes made of our wood. We wouldn't have hair coats, neither black nor blue, if it wasn't for the work of the weavers.
Well, now, James, we're going to have a dance. Would you like to play for us?
You know the Duke of Perth?
Do I know the Duke of Perth? No, but I've met the Laird of Auchtermacht.
Well, it's a real.
Oh, it's a real. That's the real thing. Ladies and gentlemen, would you take your partners, please, for the Duke of Perth?
Jimmy Shand is Jimmy Shand, a living legend, and has been a living legend since the 30s. He is Mr. Scottish country dance music, not only in Scotland but all over the world, and a great hockey personality too.
I have fond recollections of this man here, but whenever he picks up the phone, and I don't know whether I'm complimented or not, because he says, "Is that you, son?" You know, I mean, after all, Jimmy, come on, son.
That's a face saying.
I know.
Do you want to tell the folk your age?
Well, I'm 69 coming up, you see. Oh, I'm just a bairn.
I'm just 83.
That's it, 83.
You can copy certain individuals now, but you're far better if you assert your own style of playing. I can't help it playing the way I do. Know that it's good, but I'm a believer that each melody, each tune has its own pitch and it has its own phrasing and expression. Tempo is.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing the song I Like Calling by Yontun, which Jimmy was playing beautifully with me, but we wanted to take one of the verses and slow it down and sing it slowly, you know. She'll wander by the acorn tree instead of fiddle-dum-dee-dum-dickety-dum-dee. So I said to Jimmy, now, Jimmy, at this point I sing Colla Voce. He says, you can sing what you like, son, but I'll be playing it in 2/4.
Did you find it quite exciting to work on, Jimmy?
I never get excited, lads.
Isabel James was the female counterpart of Dixie Ingram. She came down with Bobby Watson to guest in one of the shows, and she gave a freshness and her own individual style to a sort of choreographed Highland dancing.
I remember even now, after all these years, when that tiny child came down with Bobby Watson. She was the only dancer I ever knew who actually danced about 3 or 4 inches off the floor. The toes never touched the floor. She was beautiful.
I was really lucky. I mean, it was quite a privilege for me to be asked to dance solo on a live television show at 17 years old. I mean, it was something that, you know, was incredible to me. I was really lucky. It was exciting.
She's a beautiful dancer. Thank you, Isabel James.
There were all kinds of youngsters who got their first chance on the White Heather Club, and not only did they appreciate it, but they went on to better things, and that was the great thing about it. We made people, we made stars.
Get that crap off!
Tried to make country dancing more popular through modernising it. Watching Gene Kelly over the years, Fred Astaire, whoever, you bring different things in. And I was very serious about my dancing, and Stuart said to me, "Son, never forget, a laugh is worth a pound." And I played my dancing for laughs ever since.
Dixie was just, I mean, he used to tell jokes to you during the dance so that, you know, you would laugh all the time. And he was so relaxed. He was just everything he should be, you know, and it was just easy to dance with Dixie. Very easy and enjoyable.
Isabel, let's dance. Hey!
Oh, one in the wrong bit. That's it.
Back on course.
The dancers were enormously important in that they had to be bonny for a start. They had to be lissom and bonny and supple, and we had boy dancers, of course, and most of the boys came from the Jordan Hill College.
You're actually quite good, Liz. It's a pity about your partner.
Watch, see the next time I stamp my feet, I'm going to hit you right here.
Isabel's carrying me through it.
Well, we got engaged in a Hogmanay show. It was a surprise. You surprised me, didn't you? 29 years ago this year. Am I right?
Yes. You're always right.
And you were all there.
Most of us knew that Eleanor and John were getting engaged. I don't think Eleanor knew that the ring was going to be put on her finger that night, but we all knew. And we were all singing, you know, at the end, just as before the bells came, and we're all looking behind us to see as John got the ring on Eleanor's finger. It was really exciting, so romantic.
Johnny put the ring on my finger, huh? And I think Isabel and they couldn't really concentrate on what they were doing because they were watching us kneeling under the cameras. We did get into trouble. In fact, we nearly get fired, didn't we? For doing that. It was good fun.
It's been good fun ever since.
I'll drink to that. There was a young man from Dunoon who set off one day for the moon. When he got there, it rained, and so he exclaimed, "Ah, I might as well have gone a day to Greenock."
The way the thing was presented, the production was really tight and it was really punchy, and the content of the programme was a bit different from what had gone before. And I think it just appealed to the people at that time.
They enjoyed this kind of straightforward Scottish-type music. Obviously, you can't please everybody, and there are still those who talk about heather and haggis and kilts and whatnot. But there's a great demand for that kind of music, as long as it's presented sincerely. And I think that was the one thing about the White Heather Club. It was always very, very sincerely presented.
James Urquhart sings for us now, "Mary's Wedding." Step we gaily on we go, heel for heel and toe for toe, arm and row on row, all for Mary's wedding. Oh, highways up and down, myrtle green and bracken brown, past the sheening through the town, all for sake of Mary. Step we gaily on we go, heel for heel and toe for toe, arm and row, all for Mary's wedding. Red her cheeks as flowers are, bright her eye as any star, fair as dawn and more by far is our darling Mary. Step gaily on we go, heel for heel and toe for toe, arm and row, for Mary's wedding. Plenty herring, plenty meal, plenty feet to fill her creel. roast for Mary. Step we gaily, on we go, hill for hill and toe for toe. Arm in arm and row, all for Mary's wedding.
We became aware that we had an enormous heritage of traditional Scottish songs that people had never put on in theatres commercially before. And the White Heather Club used these songs as the backbone of its material. I mean, the Lyric Gems of Scotland became our Bible, more or less.
I have wandered today to the hill, Maggie, to watch the scene below. The creek and the creaking old mill, Maggie, as we did in days long ago. Now the green goat has gone from the hill, Maggie, where first the daisy strung, and the creaking old mill, it is still, Maggie, since you and I were young.
We started with the White Heather Club New Year party, the Hogmanay party. That was the first one. And then about 3 months later, we did a series of 6 weeks with Robert Wilson, which, as they say, went a storm. And Andy happened to be available at the time. Robert couldn't carry on, so we took on Andy.
Cold winter was howling o'er moor and o'er mountain, and wild was the surge on the dark rolling sea, when I met about daybreak a bonny young lassie, who asked me the road and the miles to Dundee. Said I, my young lassie, I canna will tell ye the road and the distance, I canna will gie. But if you will permit me to gang a wee bitty, I'll show ye the road and the miles to Dundee. At once she consented and gave me her arm. Ne'er a word did I speak for the lassie might be. She appeared like an angel in a feature and form, as she walked by my side on the road to Dundee. So here's to the lassie, I ne'er can forget her, and ilka young laddie was listening to me, and never be sweet to convoy.
Robert was, I think, in many ways the inspiration for the White Heather Club. He used the name White Heather Group in Scotland and all over the world, and he was Mr. Scotland as far as singing for that generation was concerned. And I got involved simply because Ian McFadden, who was producing this show, said, look, I've got Joe Gordon doing the folk songs, and I've got Robert Wilson singing the ballads, and I would like to have somebody in my first programme doing some bothy ballads. And he said, I can't think of anybody. And I said, well, you know, I can sing bothy ballads, you know, I know them. So he said, OK. So he auditioned me, actually, in the gents' toilet in Queen Margaret Drive. And you always sing well in the toilet, don't you? So he said to me, that's fine, OK. And the two songs I remember I sang were The Muckin of Geordie's Byre and a song called Kissing in the Dark.
We Robbie the Rocky and Willie the Doo, the old way for self and Teeny McCrew, and nobody else that could lave off the blue at the Muckin of Geordie's Byre. Oh, sick in the south there was Albany, and 5 mile away you could hear the din. Even the cushy began to grin at the Muckin of Geordie's Byre. The Paulus come down thrilled and the soon the cradle got lost with the rigs of the fun. They fell and the midden was like they'd run at the muck and the Geordie's bar. The Wechtium signs in the bar and bits, the wheel it goes on and they all whip it hits. Oh, losh, you should have seen her doing the splits at the muck and the Geordie's bar. Oh, sick and the Saturn was Aberdeen, and 5 mile away you could hear the din. Even the cushy began to grin at the muck and the Geordie's bar. The whiskey get run, Tommy Flea in the dew, and they as a drunk, my beer they get through. They only in silver, the calf and the coo at the muck and the Geordie's bar. Tommy roars out in the bell for mare, St. Tucket the Coostill and folded her hair. She could get out to get up in the air at the muck and the Geordie's bar. Oh, sick and the Southern was Aberdeen, and 5 mile away you could hear the din. Even the cushy began to grin at the muck and the Geordie's bar.
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you, Robert.
You know, I'm very fond of Arbroath, too.
Oh, it's a
Though
great
you're
tune.
a citizen of Arbroath,
Yes.
I'm very fond of it. And I always enjoy my smokies when I go up there.
it's a
You know, I
grand
can eat 3 in a row.
3? There's
Yeah.
some of them up there can eat half a dozen.
You're kidding.
I'm not kidding.
Eat half a dozen?
Aye, and more.
Oh.
As the story goes about a fella come down from St. Vincent's, a plewman.
Aye.
Tom Goldie was his name.
Mm-hmm.
He come down to Arbroath, and one day he was walking along there and he feeling very, very hungry, and he went into a restaurant for the first time in his life.
Aye.
He sat himself down at a table, he worked his way through a bowl of soup, and then he'd a side of roast beef and tatties and kale and all the rest of it.
Aye.
And then the waitress came up with the menu and she said, "Now, sir, what would you like for dessert?"
Mm-hmm.
And Tom was a wee bit flummoxed with the words, so he turned round and he says, "Oh, just bring me a plate of bacon and eggs."
Oi, whoa. Come on, boys and girls, please, just for a second. I'd like to give you a couple of toasts, or what is known as absent friends. To somebody who brought the show right up to star quality, because we already had that, but he helped no end. Let's have a toast to Andy Stewart, and let's hope that he's feeling that much better that next time he'll be with us. Andy Stewart.
And Andy, here's a song that we all associate with you, so please forgive me for having a wee go at it now since you're no here. There was a soldier, a Scottish soldier, who wandered far away and soldiered far away. There was none bolder, with good broad shoulder. He'd fought in money affray and fought and won.
I think you could safely say, without Andy Stewart, there wouldn't have been a Whitehead Club. Andy's talent and his versatility and his monologues and his sheer force of personality kept the thing going.
He held the whole thing together. He was so talented that, you know, just and a young boy, and he had everything going for him.
Well, Andy Stewart was the Whitehead Club show. He was the show.
He was lively. He was bright.
I remember the absolute sensation when I sang The Scottish Soldier on television. Now, I could have hopped it around for years in the halls singing it, and a limited number of people would have got to know it. But when we did it, the first time we did it was in May of 1960, and I sang this new song, The Scottish Soldier. And the mail, we had an absolute flood of mail asking for us to do it the very next week. And it was the breakthrough for me.
Because those green hills are not Highland hills, or the island hills, they're not my land's hills, and fair as these green foreign hills may be, they are not the hills all home. Oh no, those green hills are not Highland hills, or the island hills, they're not my land's hills, and fair as these green foreign hills may be, they are not the hills all home. Those green hills are not the Highland hills or the Island hills. They're not Mylands hills, and fair as these green foreign hills may be, they are not the hills. Oh, no, those green hills are not Highland hills or the Island hills. They're not Mylands hills, and fair as these green foreign hills may be, they are not the hills.
I wasn't a singer, you see. I was in no way a singer. I was a trained young actor. And I did sing, but I could tell a story. I couldn't do any of the traditional songs, but Ian McFadden and I discovered that I had the night of writing out lyrics for songs. I would always write the lyric first. Ian would take the lyric home and almost inevitably would produce a tune the next day.
Every night I used to hang my trousers up at the back of the bedroom door. I rue the day, I must have been a jay, I'll never hang them up anymore, because my wife, she used to ramble through my butchers when I was fast asleep beneath the quilt. And in the morning when I woke, I never had any money, and that's the reason I wear the coat. Well, every night I used to hang my trousers up at the back of the bedroom door. I rue the day, I must have been a day, I'll never hang them up anymore, because my wife, she used to ramble through my butchers when I was fast asleep beneath the quilt. And in the morning when I woke, I was always sorely broke, and that's the reason I wear the kilt.
I'd have been greeting all night, I think.
Somebody cue the band for God's sake. In the beginning, it was a great thing. As the years rolled on, there was a tendency to keep it going because from the south of the border, they kept on saying, and of course, we'll just have the White Heather Club. So that after 6 years or something, you know, I think we could happily have let it go.
I think, honestly, that we could have continued, because I've been involved with television shows whose formula, quite honestly, was based on the White Heather Club. And I still think there is a place for that kind of entertainment, because to me it's the very fact that it's based on traditional values means that it doesn't have a time or an age limit.
From all of us here at the White Heather Club, good night, good luck, and here's to black we know you dearly. All again, you're welcome here. May your days be free from sorrow, and your friends be ever near.
I would say it was the most enjoyable. That and the stage presentation of the same thing was the most enjoyable period of my life in show business. Of my life.